Welcome to Module 4. Module 4 is where we examine our starting point. Where is it that we're at? Think about it this way. If you want to get to the top of the tower and you have to find your way through the woods, you have to figure out where you're at right now. If you're looking at a compass, you have to know exactly where in the map is it that you're starting from. This is where the conversation of the Irreplaceable Father Code comes in. The Irreplaceable Father Code is all about leading with truth. And what is your truth? What are your facts from where you're starting from? You see, a lot of men say, I want a better relationship with my children. I want to see a better bank account. I want more health for myself. I want infinite love and abundance. But they never look at where they're starting from. And this is what this conversation is about. It's all about you and where you're starting from. Where was I starting from? I started from sleeping in my car. I started with overdrafted bank accounts. I started with a body that I did not appreciate, neither did the body appreciate me. I started so disconnected from my children where they didn't even want to see me. And when they saw me on the weekends and I picked them up, we didn't even have a conversational communication of any type. I started so disconnected with myself, with God, spiritually, not knowing how to get out of the situation. That was my foundation. That was my starting point. For as bad as it may look, for as dark as it may be, that is your starting point. And the code is under the premise of what if we were to just start from a place of truth, from your facts. Your truth is different than my truth. We can be in the same room and two men in the same room hearing the same conversation can be living two different experiences. Why is that? It's because of your facts. It's because everyone is experiencing life in a different way. So let's take a look at your facts. So we're about to start an exercise. It's very important that you lead in with the truth. I mean, how many times have we been used to lying to ourselves? How many times have we been used to lying to other people, lying to your ex-spouse, lying to partners, lying in your business, lying about your bank account, lying about every area of your life? And change will never come if you never accept what is. And it doesn't mean that you accepting what is not going to change. It simply means that we're starting from a solid foundation, where anything that we build from now on out is built on a foundation of truth. And that is what we're all about. That is our starting point. Most men lie throughout their entire lives, and they continue to lie for themselves. And that's why their lives never change. That's why they get a better body, but their bank accounts are still negative. That's why they get into a different relationship, but their connection with their children is still far apart. So starting from a place of truth, accepting it and writing it down has such power that will give you the clarity that you need in order to map out your strategic direction to head into your top of your tower. You are a multidimensional being. You have a body, you have your relationships, you have your bank accounts, your spiritual connection. And what we're looking for is to find a relationship with our children on top of the tower in our fullness. This is what we need to start with this exercise by leading with the truth. So what I want you to do is to go to the resources section in this module and print out the handout that is in this specific module. And I want you to write it down, pen and paper. Do this for you. Do this for your children, because they're waiting for you on the top of the tower. And you see, your ability to tap into the power that you have right now, here and now in this exercise is going to enable you to discover what your starting point is. So go ahead and print the file right now, and let's dive right into the questions. So let's start with your relationship with your children. And that's why you're here. You want to be an irreplaceable father. The first question is, how often do you communicate with your children? How often? Is it via text message, via phone call, via live chat? Are you even able to communicate with your children? Is your partner allowing you to communicate with your children? Do you have a core order that does not enable you to communicate with your children? What's your current state? Write it down. Second piece is understanding how they are communicating with you. What's the current state of that? Are they responding? Are they engaging with you in a dialogue, or are they just giving you quick, short, fast responses just to get back to you? Are you able to look at them in the eyes? Are you able to tell them how much you love them? And are they able to tell you in all sincerity how much they appreciate you? So that, what's the current state? Whatever it is, just write it down. And I want you to just be present as you're writing this down. And if you're feeling in this moment like tears are coming down your eyes, let them be. Put some music in the background where you can just be fully present as you answer these questions. Take the next couple of minutes just to access this moment and answer how your communication is with your children, how they're communicating with you. Next one, let's take a look at how we feel about our communication with our children. How do you feel about it? Just write it out. I feel bad. You feel negative, you feel positive, you feel frustrated, you feel irritated, you feel anger, you feel resentment. What is it that you feel right now? Just write it out. Write out as much one-word feelings about how you're communicating with your kids and how they're communicating with you. Just write it down right now. The next one is, what is your current focus and action plan to improve communication with your children? Is anything coming to mind right now as you're hearing these prompts? Are you seeing any possibility to improve the communication both ways, a dialogue? Are you seeing how you can start to make improvements in your communication with your children? Write it out right now. Let's focus in the second section here, which is, let's take a look at the facts of your business. If you're employed, then it's your career. If you're self-employed and you're running a business, then let's look at your business and what's the reality of that situation. So let's dive right into the questions. The first one is, what's your take-home income? And whatever it is, just write it down. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't come up with a number. Don't come up with an estimate, because you see, this is the foundational steps to help you get to liberation, to help you get to the top of the tower, where you can be the provider for your children and for your life that you've been wanting to be. Second question, what was your profit for last year, for the past 12 months? Next question, how much money do you have in your savings? I know for myself, I had nothing when I did this first exercise, and it's okay. Just write it down. Next question, how many hours are you working per week? So write down exactly what you've done in the past couple of months. If you're not sure, just go back to the drawing board and calculate as best as you can. It's very important for you to understand where you're starting from. Next question is, what are your current income producing skills? Write them all down. I am a business owner, investor, entrepreneur, or if you're employed, I want you to write down all the skills that you know. Do you know how to sell? Do you know how to market? Do you know how to create content? Whatever it is, just write it down. Next question. It's, what's your current focus in your income producing abilities? Have you thought about what you're going to be doing next? Have you thought about a strategic plan for you to take your business to the next level? Have you thought about how to improve your skills so that you can earn more revenue? Next one is, where would you like to see your income in the next 12 months? Again, it's very important for you to understand where you're starting from. So if you haven't made any money in the past 12 months in your business, and you want to be a multi-million-dollar business enterprise, you want to hire more people, you want to build processes, systems, and you have absolutely no experience, then we have to take a look at where we're starting from. So understand that your goals, they have to be measurable, they have to be specific, they have to be strategic from your starting. Next one is, how do you feel about your business and your income? Let's write it down. How do you do that last exercise? Let's talk about your spiritual self. You see, we started off with the relationship with your children first, because that's what we're all after here in Irreplaceable Father. Then the biggest concern becomes is how do I produce in order to provide a lifestyle that my children deserve and that I deserve as a father. And now let's focus into what I do believe to be the most important one, but the one that gets put at the very last piece of the list. And that is your spiritual being, your spiritual connection. So let's dive right into the questions here. The first one is, how often do you pray? What was the last time you prayed? If you don't pray and you don't believe in God, when was the last time you slowed down and just closed your eyes and meditated for a few minutes? And how often do you do that? Next question is, how connected do you feel to the voice within? You see, every time you pray and you receive revelation, you slow down, or you meditate and you slow down for a minute and you start hearing a spirit within guiding you into a specific way in a specific process. It's very important to understand what that means for you as a man. Next question is, how connected do you feel with God? Do you even believe there's a God for you? And again, what matters the most is your truth. What matters the most in this exercise is for you to be real with yourself 100%. Next question. How often do you put your feelings and thoughts into paper? When was the last time you did that? When was the last time you got triggered by a conversation with your ex-wife or with someone in your business, and you decided to slow down for a minute and write things down as you were feeling them? Next question is, how do you feel about your spiritual being? Do you feel disconnected? Do you feel like there's no purpose in life? Do you feel like, hey, why am I even doing this? What's the meaning of life? How well do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Write it down. Take your time. Put some thinking music on right now. Let's take a look at your body now. And your body is your weapon. Your body is going to be with you for the rest of your life. You see, a lot of men put all of their emphasis in their body right after they go through a breakup. But oftentimes, this becomes the piece that gets the most neglected. Maybe you might go into depression. Maybe you might gain some weight. So let's take a look at some questions here. First question is, what is your weight? Just write it down. Whatever your weight is, just get on a scale and write down the exact figure of what your weight is right now. The next one is, how do you feel about your movement? How well is your body serving you in moving on a day-to-day basis? Are you noticing that some parts of your body are no longer working as they used to at one point in time? Just write it down. How do you feel about your movement? Next one is, how do you feel about your energy? How do you feel about your energy throughout the day? How is your energy carrying you? Are you creating energy, or are you dragging throughout your energy levels throughout the day? Next one is, how do you see yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror? Go to a mirror right now, take your shirt off, take your pants off, and just look at yourself for the first time. Just take a minute to slow down and look at yourself in the mirror, and then come back and answer the question, how do you feel about your body? Whatever it is, whether it's disgusted, whether you're proud, whether it's like, I don't even know how I feel, write it down. Next question, it's what's your current focus in your body? Is there no focus? Do you have a plan in place in order to build the dream body that you have? Or do you have a dad bod and there's no plan whatsoever? Whatever it may be, just write it down. All right, so it's not just about the questions. It's about taking the time to reflect. When you slow down for reflection, it becomes a catalyst for change and transformation. And that's what you're here for. All right, so here's your assignment. Head on over to the community and post a picture of everything you've written down. That is right. This is the code, my friends. This is about living in truth, owning your truth. It might be painful for you to share some of these facts, but this is where the power is. Because the moment you're able to declare where you're at, and the moment you own that, that is a catalyst for you. So make sure that you're intentional about this. I want you to do yourself a favor and your brothers a favor. Is look at whoever has posted theirs and leave a comment. Engage with them. As you start documenting these exercises and you start sharing it with your brothers in the community, and you start owning that space, your darkness, your pit, your starting point, that is where transformation starts happening for you. That is where, for the first time, what you've been hiding, what you've been lying to yourself about, what you've been neglecting, starts becoming clear. And you see, my friends, you see, my brother, there's no turning back from that. So welcome aboard. So in Module 4, we figured out exactly where your starting point is. We've looked at the compass. In Module 5, we're going to strap our boots on and start heading on over to the top of our tower. So strap up, complete your assignment, and I'll see you in the woods.